My action list, I write it down here. This is my short-term memory. That way I don't gotta stress about if I'm gonna forget it or whether or not it gets done. Okay, but as you can see, this is it's kind of sloppy, okay, because what it is it's just a way to capture the idea or the action item. I like to use this. Some people like to use their phones. There's different apps within the phone like Trello or Tabs or Boards. There's different organizational apps that you can use if you like using the phone. But all of these are just, it's either actionable or it's strategy or it's something that I gotta work on my business. I have a few businesses that I'm working on. And so this is all stuff, and that's a lot of pages, okay? So that's basically like that's probably 2 or 3 weeks worth of brain dump and action items, okay? That's step one, is to capture it. If someone hits you with something during the day and it takes less than 2 minutes, go ahead and do it right then. And that way you don't gotta worry about this part of it. But if they come to me and they say, hey man, we're out of hard hats. Oh, I'm gonna have to order some, that's gonna take longer than 2 minutes. Then I'm at my computer, order PPE, hard hats. What else do we need? Safety glasses. I'll make my list, boom, 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 boom. And then I know I'll go back to that when I'm at my computer or whatever, all right? But if it's, if I'm in the middle of work and I gotta make a quick text message and it's not gonna take 2 minutes to do it, I'll just do it right there while I'm thinking about it. Oh, I'll go ahead and send a text message right now because Rogelio's about to drive on location. I want him to remember to bring the stems, the used up stems. I want him to bring those back, and he's about to get there. I'm gonna text him right now. Remember to bring back the worn out stems from the choke valves or whatever. I'll send the text right there. That way I don't have to remember later or take extra steps because it takes less than 2 minutes. All right. Now the next step after we capture, whether it's through a brain dump or when we're going through emails and we're putting stuff in your notebook or in your calendar, and you guys all have capture methods, notebooks you're using, you have it captured. The next step is to process it. Okay, and in processing, what we need to have is we need to have a project list. We need to have a project list. So my project list, I have projects at my house. I have projects with my congregation, because I'm the secretary and the accountant at my congregation, at my house of worship. And then I have, for my business, I have my ATM business, I have my advisory business, I have my consulting business, I have my teaching business, and I have my drone business. So those, and within those categories, I still have projects underneath that, because like my Vertex Aerial LLC, I've got accounting that I'm working on. I'm also working on my LLC and my holding company, reinstatement of that. I've got some pending paperwork with the Texas comptroller. So in those categories, I have sub-projects, okay? So when I'm going through and my brain is randomly, I'm getting ideas, I'm remembering things, I'm writing them down, I gotta go back to my project book, okay? What you can do, sometimes I use the sticky notes, and I'll cut the sticky note and I'll make flags, and I'll put them in when I have a notebook like that, I'll put a flag in my notebook, like a blue one or a pink, whatever sticky note, and then I'll open to that tab, and that'll be the first page of my accounting projects. And in there I have reinstate my LLC, open a holding company, open an LLC for Romelio Advisory Group, open an LLC for I'm about to get my financial advisory license next week as a financial advisor. So I need to open an LLC or at least a DBA for that one. I'm gonna have to get O&E insurance. So anyway, in my notebook, I've got a tab. So I open to that tab, and that's my first page, and that way I can go forward and don't have to worry about where it's at. And then I might skip down an 1/8 of an inch and put another tab. And these are my projects at work. Maybe you have upcoming jobs. Maybe you have one that's specifically around bids. You got a bids list where you got to complete your bid for this, and that's going to include going to these locations, and you've got your notes for your GPS coordinates where those locations are at. Because to go back to your text message or something like that to try to find it, that might be a problem, right? So you want to process it so that instead of having to go back through all of these pages of where did I write that down? I know I wrote it down. Then from here, it goes to a different notebook where I have my projects, and it's all organized. And the other thing is that you have your projects list, and then you should have your next items, okay, your next action items, all right? Now, the key point that a lot of people miss about action items is they'll write down an action item, but it's not actionable. So give me an example, if you can think of an example of an action item. What's an action item? Something you might need to get done.
The daily reports,
Okay,
something like that.
daily reports. So if I just write down daily reports, you know what that means, right? Daily reports. Just looking at that, would you guys say it's actionable? Is it actionable? It's actually not actionable. Okay? What would make it actionable? You need a verb. Review and send daily reports. Complete pending daily reports. Send email requesting daily reports. Call for missing daily reports. You need a verb, and it has to be specific of an action you can actually complete. Because if you just have daily reports, you'll never get to a point where you can sign that off, because every day is changing and you're going back to that anyway, right? And what would even help you is to implement some train supervisor on daily reports. Because the reason I had to call him, text him, and verify, the reason I had to do these 3 steps is because I haven't trained him, so he's still making a bunch of mistakes. So if I do this one, this is actually my most productive action step on daily reports. Because tomorrow and the next day, if I invest my time here, you want to be an investor with your time. If you invest your time in training, these three are less likely to occur in the future, and now you just saved yourself 45 minutes a day for the next 2 weeks. So an hour a day times 10, that's 10, times 5 days, that's 10 hours, right? So you want to think as an investor as well as how you invest your time. If you invest your time in developing and figuring out, why am I having to do all of these action items on daily reports? Why do all of these exist? We call it a root cause analysis. These exist because my guys don't know how to, they may not have all the information that they need to actually get it done. Maybe I could even make a cheat sheet that has the process and send them the cheat sheet. I might spend 20 minutes on the cheat sheet, but then it saves me 20 hours in follow-up, because I tell them, check your cheat sheet, follow the cheat sheet, and then I'll have less things to come. That's what I'm talking about, driving efficiency and planning. The way you drive efficiency and make yourself a better manager is by building systems. So if you can create a cheat sheet, and when you get a new guy under you and you say, this is the cheat sheet, this is the process, follow this process, you're not gonna have to call me or ask me, because it's right here. If it's not right here, then call me or ask me. Laminate it, give it to them in something, or a digital format. Everybody's different and they work different. So if you can create efficiency systems, you'll get rid of a lot of this daily, we'll just call it daily